Hey. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. LP. Back once again, man. Let the truth be told. In the studio, my brother Hub, man. Tag somebody to say somebody. Let them know that we're on the radio on this Thursday. Thursday afternoon. You got to show. You got to show. Yeah, Sunday program. On Sunday evening. So, man, let's tag and spirit tag, still let you guys know that Hub and Sean is on the radio, we're on television, we take our programs that we should be told. UTV, man. Appreciate you guys logging in, man. Make sure you tag and share all our social media people out there, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for always sharing with us. If you have some comments, put it in the comment section. We will try to answer all your comments section. So I thank the Lord for you. Thank the Lord for you. Let's talk this here. Let's get started. Let's talk this to get started. So I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it. What's going on today, my brother Hub?
Oh man, it's all good in the neighborhood. It's another day.
Man.
The old folks say just another day that the Lord has kept.
I know that's right.
It's a blessing to wake up and open your eyes.
I know that's right, man. I thank the Lord for being here in the studio, being able to tape another program, Let the Truth Be Told. Appreciate everybody that reach out to us throughout the week and just say, man, y'all keep it up. You and Hub make a good combo. We appreciate it. I think I've been doing this now for about 10 to 12 years, probably about 12 years. And so hopefully I brought you some value over the years. Hopefully that I've been able to take a lot of me away and be able to add a lot of what God wants me to put into me to be able to tell it to y'all. And so that's the goal.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, you know. So it ain't about me. It's about the value that I bring to this mic, the value that I bring to this television screen, to be an impart into you, to make our people better, make the community better. And so I thank the Lord for you. Bro, we got a lot going on we got a lot going on. Not only in our personal lives, not only in our community, but across the world. And so I'm going to let the Lord lead us and guide us into what we're going to talk about today. I normally try to come up with some type of topic or some type of a theme or something that we can entitle and embrace this program and do a wrap around with this program. But I'm gonna let the Lord lead us to where we're at, because you got so much going on, I got so much going on, and then the world got stuff going on. And so with that being said, I know I got my Wall Street Jewelers program with the kids, and I've been doing that throughout the week, trying to inspire kids, motivate them to be able to participate within the program, working with funding and trying to get income in to be able to support the kids, support the program, pay people, all of that stuff that got to be placed, take care of finances that we got to be able to take care of and meet cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's. And so that takes away from some other things that you got going on. And so I know one thing that my wife told me, that you got to give 100% everywhere, you know. And so that's 100%, you know, with the Wall Street Jewelers, whether it's the youth or the adults, 100% being a husband at the house, 100% being the maintenance man, you know. Yeah. 100% as the funeral home and dealing with my families. And so I mean, hearts and prayers go out to all the families that have lost loved ones, man. And it's just been a ton of families going through grief, pain ever since the last time we hit this mic. And so that's nonstop. So how do we help heal families in those ways, you know? And so, and I heard a person, one of my family members that I did a funeral for here recently, you know, was talking this morning saying, man, look, man, you know, y'all don't know what to say, some things like that, man. And my advice to the public is this: sometimes words can't explain, man. People just need love. See folks, just hug folks, embrace folks, be there for folks, you know, put some money on it, whatever the case you might be able to do, you know, just embrace and love. The Bible, and you back me up, the Bible says love covers a multitude. And so it covers them. So just the love of it, just put a blanket on stuff. And when I feel that love back and forth, it's reciprocal. And so brother, you tell me a little bit about what you got.
Yeah, it's
What's
tough,
happening,
man. I just, I ain't even gonna go. I'm gonna stay where you at. What's going on in the world? It just makes me want to get closer to God. Because you got people out here that don't understand the climate, and so it's 20 below, and they running around in bikinis because they don't know the climate, and they don't know they're gonna freeze to death, or it's 200 degrees and they got on Eskimo coats, right? And so they're gonna have heat stroke because they don't know the climate. And a lot of people is dying because they don't know the climate.
Mm-hmm.
And so what it does, I mean, it saddens me, but most important, makes me want to get closer to God.
Yeah.
And love on the people. Everywhere I go, I try to show love. You know,
Right.
And so I'm trying to mature as a man of God, as a pastor. You got to love in spite of. Everybody should, but certainly the leaders of the Christian community should practice the principles of Christ. So I'm just trying to show love, man, because it saddens me the way people are going out, ODing over, killing each other over nothing, ODing over nothing. And so it's a sad situation.
So you said a thing for me to be able to off ramp for me to be able to, let me cut this off because I'm gonna have this phone gonna blow up on me because I got a lot going on. But you said an off ramp for me to be able to just give you a visual of where we at as a world right now. So Donald Trump was in office, and so it was like our country had an unmanned ship. So it's like
sleep at the wheel.
So it's like you jumped on JetBlue,
yeah,
and you went and sat in the back, and ain't no pilot. It's just on autopilot, right? So the country's been on autopilot, right? So during that rain, chaos happening everywhere, and he letting it go down because of any monetary gain, right? That he might be able to get any benefits, he might be able to get across the world. So the world was able to come together under the scenes, and they were able to conglab and partner and see what's been happening over the last hundreds of years. And they said, "Oh, whoa, this is our opportunity because ain't nobody manning the ship." Okay, so now rolling it forward to when Biden get in office, we get somebody that's in office at least got their eyes on the ship. I ain't saying that somebody even got in the pilot seat,
right?
But at least they watching the ship.
Hey, he might not have pilot license, but at least he got fishing license.
Right. At least
he got some license.
And he got bifocals on the situation.
Oh my God.
Okay. So what's happening is that these countries that came together, and we can't afford for the dollar to be devalued around the world because we're the main currency.
Right.
So we got to learn about currency. Things that the Black community don't understand. We got to learn about this to understand where we're going, where we're about to go to. So everything's been devalued around the world. Our integrity's been devalued. Our moral compass has been devalued because now we were the leaders that set the tone and say, you guys got to live like this. But since we have no moral compass in this world anymore, because I always say that buffoonery's in,
yes, sir.
Goofy in, stupidity in. Nobody has common sense anymore. Common sense ain't even in no more.
Common sense is not common.
It's not common anymore. So around the world, they're looking at us and they're saying, we don't need to be like them. Matter of fact, let's start our own. So they're starting China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and India. India has over 1 billion and some people. So they didn't partner behind the scenes. And they said, we're going to come up with our own currency, man. Man, forget the US. It's our time to take over. And because we've been so distracted with our eyes off the ball, they got a grand opportunity. And the only way that we're going to be able to fix this, Hub, is called World War III. That's the only way we're going to be able to fix it, because we done took and greed has allowed us to take our eyes off the ball.
And I say this 100 times, we're legends in our own mind. America is the only people who play the World Series by themselves. And so we're legends in our own mind. So our expectations ain't for nobody to come at us like that.
Yeah. But you know what? When we did, so we had the under Ronald Reagan, we had the free world agreement, and so that free world agreement allowed us to outsource all our manufacturing jobs, all our engineering jobs. They all went overseas. They all went to Mexico. They all went to China. You can't find nothing hardly that say made in America anymore. So we outsourced all our job opportunities. So now we got assembly plants, because some of the stuff that say made in the U.S., it should say assembled in the U.S., not made in the U.S., because it don't get made here. They'll ship the parts here and we'll put it together. And then we'll stamp made in the U.S. on there. The overplay for the underplay. And you know what I'm saying? Smoke screen. And so that's what's been happening. But we don't understand, because nobody comes to the platform and break this down in a language we can understand. And so and when the people were trying to build the tower to reach
Tower
of Babel.
He had to confound the language.
And so what they understand is we messed the language up. So now we can't communicate. So it's a failure to communicate. So now we boxing with each other because we don't understand. And that's where we at in the Black community. A lot of times it's a failure to communicate because we've been on the bottom so long. So now we complaining and murmuring with each other. And all we got to do is come together.
I even America, I was sad on this week after, and I didn't even watch the game. I was teaching financial literacy class. But after the class, I looked at my Facebook, and man, they was going in on this Division One national championship women's. And so we saw how the country is divided over that basketball game. And so we just got work to do. I mean, and even Biden's wife got caught up in it. She ran her mouth real quick and said, invite both teams. You know what I'm saying? And so now, the other side, oh, that's white privilege. And so we just so divided, man. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hand it back to you. I was at the hospital all day Tuesday, probably about, I don't know. I was there, 11 to 4, something like that. I was there most of the day. And I was waiting on, my wife had a little minor surgery. And so I'm a soldier. So I'm watching, I'm listening and everything. And just listening to the people in the waiting room and everywhere I went in the hospital, people are hurting, man. Folks are hurting across the board. Ain't no color. Man, folks are hurting.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the hurt is because, as you stated before, leadership across the board. I mean, from the White House to the crack house, the leadership is sleep at the wheel.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
And the love of money is the root of all evil. So you throw that in. So, like I said, man, I'm just trying to get closer to God, love on my family, show love, and raise these kids, man, and prepare them to be a tax contributor or a tax multiplier. We call it a combat multiplier instead of tax liability. I'm trying to raise them to lead the people who parents ain't raising them.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I know you got your program, you got your financial literacy. You were showcased on the evening news on on last,
Victory over violence.
that was Sunday. That was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
That was Sunday night.
Yeah. Sunday night.
And so the victory over violence,
Yeah.
you guys have been to do some
Yeah.
stuff in Moran too.
Yeah.
Me and you started that
Yeah.
financial literacy together.
Yeah.
You know, I always told, you know, I mean, you said I talked about it, you know, because folks blow my phone up, blow your
Yeah.
phone up.
Yeah.
And one thing we do like is chaos.
Yeah.
One thing we didn't master this chaos. You know, we professional chaos, you know, kick off people, you know, we
Right.
want to kick it off. But me and you always, when you talked about it, can't let that split us up.
Well,
You know what I'm
see,
saying?
anybody that has a clue, just a clue, know that you came in my shop because you've told the story 100 times. They had closed the club for COVID, and I showed you the Robinhood account, and you got triple excited as I did. You were triple excited, and so that led to your excitement led to us jumping it off at the church during COVID. We had people going during COVID, distance and all that. But at some point, I had to start looking out for rent too.
Right.
And this is where a lot of people miss it at. So it wasn't no sense of me trying to do New Free Will and here with you here, right?
Right.
And so I handed that off to you, and I took off the rent too. You had some parents, supportive parents. You had one great teacher and one that was training on being great in Titus, man. And so I don't, and I got a whole nother thing I want to say, but I'm learning not to listen to the peanut gallery. One of the things God had to remind me of about 2 weeks ago, because now I'm pastor, but familiarity brings content. And so I've been having to check. No. But what God reminded me of is doing war. It was a room full of generals and colonels, and they was listening to me. Not planning no quad day or champagne and ballad day, doing war. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm from Champagne, but I ain't from Champagne, if that makes sense. And so what I've been having to do is just leave the peanut gallery who think I'm Hub from Dunbar Court. Just leave them alone, man, because they ain't gonna do nothing but irk my nerves. You know what I'm saying? And so anybody, I didn't get any phone calls. I didn't get any phone calls because the people around me know how I roll and know how I feel about you. Right. And so they I ain't saying they didn't say nothing, but let me say this and I'm gonna hand it back to you. To watch you move the way you move with this financial literacy and with Elder Hunt and how you develop Titus. I told Titus before I went to Rand too, you're gonna be a teacher, so you gotta learn this stuff, bro. Because you're gonna be a teacher. Elder Hunt, you're gonna take his place. And you were able to cultivate that. You were able to cultivate that. So as a leader, I'm talking about a real leader, which we don't have a lot of across the course. As a real leader, when I see the way you done took this financial thing and the thing you doing, my heart warms. My heart warms. Because it's a direct reflection of me and our relationship. And we just warming up. I could talk about how frustrated I am about people not taking advantage of it, but why put the energy on that?
For the people that do take it.
Man, I had 3 or 4 parents say, can we come? Sure, you can come.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the $100 that the kids going to get, but you're going to get $1 million worth of information.
It's needed. It's needed. It helps you from that unmanned ship.
Now let me say,
It helps you from being the leader of an unmanned ship.
Let me say 2 things. To see where you have went with this thing since you were on my couch at the shop, and to have the 17-year-old kid that taught me teach my class. It's amazing.
And I mean,
And everybody's not gonna look at it as amazing.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best, I ain't gonna say it's but it's one of the best things going on with the youth. And the only thing, instead of me worrying about why other people that I work with youth don't see the value in it, I ain't gonna worry about it. I almost said something, but I won't be politically correct. But I got some people that's around me that I mess with tough. And they over kids and they can't see the value in it. But consistency is what I always tell you.
You know, one of the things I would say is that because as adults, and a lot of us think we are, you know, what you was going to is a pimp in our own mind. We think we know it all, right?
Yeah.
And you can't tell me nothing, or I don't value you enough for you to be the one to tell me. Let somebody with more education come to me and tell me this, right?
I'm gonna give you some free game real quick. Because I forget. Free game, and then you can run as long as you want to. Handing your kid a blunt or sitting there kicking it with your kid drinking Crown Royal. To me, this is the gospel according to the Lord. Not sending your son or daughter to financial literacy because you don't know nothing. It's all the same. That's just as bad. Now run.
Yeah, I totally agree. But that's because you don't know no better. And you don't know that you setting your next generation up for death and destruction. The Bible says that you leave your kids an inheritance.
Your children's
children an inheritance. So we leaving our people bill. We leaving our people messed up. They more messed up than we was messed up when we was their age. And they got more technology. They got more advanced stuff. But the trauma that we done downloaded through our DNA has been downloaded on them. And they can't handle stuff the way we handle it, the way we used to handle it. You know, so they even more worse off.
But guess what you can't do?
Yeah.
No, I gotta tell you this for you, this straight from heaven. No, I gotta get this to you. But guess what you can't do?
Is give up on.
You can't be like Moses and get frustrated and smite the rock instead of speaking to the rock. I be wanting to get on Facebook and say something about parents that ain't getting it. I'm giving you this. But the Lord said, just be consistent.
Okay, but let me give it to you, brother. Because a lot of them don't even understand, because we've been living in lack and we've been living in dysfunction so long that in our mind that's function. And for me, being the guy that just lost something major during COVID, and a lot of investment into that, you know, that I thought was going to, you know, be my ticket to kind of slow down a little bit. But then when all of that comes down, because as a parent, sometimes we run into brick walls. And as an adult, we run into brick walls, or a business owner, whatever. You run into those brick walls, and now you're trying to figure out what to do next, or how do I come from under this? How do rat get out the trap, as you always say. So now when I do this, and I started putting the time in, because you got to put some time in, it ain't gonna come to you overnight. But as I start doing the reading and research and doing more things with it and getting more involved, I find out why we so messed up. I find out why I'm so messed up. Because we try to get a second job or a third job or get PPP or whatever the case is, you're going to mess that up too, because you don't know what to do with it. And we keep on, we've had opportunities because God gives you what you need. It's just we're mismanaging what he didn't give us. We already, I don't care how many church services you go to, he already gave it to you. He did it. This is Easter weekend. He went to the cross. He left us something, you know, and he said, he came from heaven to earth
to show the way,
to show us.
Come on, preacher.
Okay, so he's left us with something.
Yeah.
But a lot of us are feeling though we by ourselves, but we spend more of our time being entertained with different stuff instead of the important stuff that we need, the information. The Bible says, not Sean, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay, so we don't know nothing. We don't know. I asked you the other day when I was in your shop, I said, Brother Hub, I said, do you know what the rule of 72 is? And you said, yeah, I heard of it. But see, what I taught In our class, we taught an 11-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 17-year-old, and us adults in the room what the rule of 72 is. And I put it on the book. But you know, it ain't gonna get a, you know, you put some positive on the book, people gonna flow right through it.
All you need is like people to grab it.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
But the rule of, I'm gonna give it to you guys out there. So maybe you can do your own research, YouTube, whatever the case is. So the rule of 72 is you divide 72, and it was created by Albert Einstein. It was created by Albert Einstein, okay? The rule of 72 is you divide 72 into a percentage of whatever you try to do or whatever you. So say, let's use an analogy that the bank, whatever bank you bank at, and you can YouTube it right now or Google it. I did one of my banks is Chase. I said, how much does the interest rate at Chase on a checking account or a savings account? It said 0.01%. Okay, so if I take that analogy, I go take $1 and put it into my Chase account. Now, what I do is I take 72 and I divide that into 0.01%. It's going to tell me how many years is it going to take me to make $2. So when I divide that and I put it in my calculator, it's going to take me 7,200 years to make $2.
To make $2
at that rate. See, we don't know. That's why I say my people perish for lack of knowledge. Okay, we don't know. And when we teach our folks how to win in the wilderness, because the wilderness going on.
It is.
It's a war going on.
It's a war.
It's the fight for your soul.
It's a war. Yeah, you beat me to it. It's a war going on out there, and it's a war going
spiritual
on.
War. It's so much that we're facing, and then we wonder and we say, Sean, why we got gun violence? Sean, why the suicide rate so high? Sean, why this and this and this and that? See, it's a war going on, but we don't understand it's a war that we fight. And we looking for the red-tailed devil, and it's stuff going on like at the bank. And we don't question them people. We don't ask them people nothing. We don't say, well, man, why is my account going up? But see, what them people know at the bank is that we know you don't know.
We know you don't know.
That's why we give you a sucker, because you don't know.
That's right.
And so we got a whole team on the East Coast that's gonna take that 20,000 and all that money you keep on making in the overtime, you keep depositing. Then they got a team that's gonna do what you don't want to do. And that's what we teach those young people, is that we teach them about how to buy stocks. What is a bond? What's a municipal bond? I hate Councilman Will Cowles is not on council, but God got a blessing for him. But he was able to educate council members that didn't know what a municipal bond and how that can affect the community and how we can reinvest in our community. Because he's learned that through our stock market class. And we've all learned that. I didn't never know what a treasury bond was and what the rates is. So now when I Google or I try to calculate 8% and I divide that by 72, it tells me how many years it's going to take me to double my money. Because that's what most brokers going to tell you. Oh, we'll give you 8%.
We'll give you 8%.
But what statistics and analysts say that the average trader can make 120%, 250% more than what the broker's doing. And that's why we run through the problems, because you thinking the job got you. The job got them. And when I wrote down my paper, 401k versus pensions, 401k versus pensions. See, the 401k, you can manage yourself. And that's why they got away from pensions, because pensions, you get a piece of the company's growth.
You roll with them.
You roll with, as Apple, I work for Apple. As Apple grow, my retirement grow.
Right. 401k, they paid you to leave them alone.
That's the problem. We don't know, brother. And that's the value that you bring in the rent too. And so as long as I'm learning, that's why I say teamwork make the dream work. You taught me that, teamwork make the dream work. We on the same team. I can share the information. You regurgitate it to your people. I regurgitate it to my people. My people that's listening, you regurgitate it to your people. Now we start growing. But see, the thing about in Champaign is we always monkey see, monkey do. So we want to recreate what me and you got going on, so that instead of partnering and saying, how can I help you guys grow? Because we don't understand, if I help Hub and Sean grow, then that means we help Champaign County grow. And if we help Champaign County grow, then we help Illinois grow. And if we help Illinois grow, then we help America grow. And when we help America grow, now we shining on earth.
From seed,
so we help the word grow. You know, so some people plant it, some people water, and God get increase.
Yes, sir.
But we got to keep our moral compass together.
Yeah.
See, because our moral compass get thrown off, Brother Hub. And that's where the problem is, because we start thinking about me, I, my, and what is all in it for me, instead of how can we be a blessing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I hope I didn't lose nobody.
Yeah, you lost some people, but they
I
need to come
I really hope I didn't lose somebody.
They need to come to
Rewatch the program.
Yeah, they need to come.
Rewatch the program.
Yeah.
Just that, you know, do like we used to do when Ernie Westfield used to come on, when we did get a chance, because we don't own nothing. So when LRW did get him a break to be able to put our music on back in the day, Sunday night.
7 to 12.
Yeah, and then we had to sit back, because I was telling my wife this morning, back in the day, we used to have to write the song down, the words to the song. And so we would have to make, first of all, you got to have a fresh tape. And you need a Maxwell or
360,
you can't have
like that.
you can't have that cheap Kmart tape, because it was too short. It was only 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You needed a 90-minute tape back then.
Yeah.
And that way you get, and you need a pack.
Yeah.
So you need a pack. So when that one got full, you can flip it over, and then after that got full, then you put a new one in right quick, so you don't miss too much.
Yeah.
And then you can go back, you rewind and write the words down.
That's right.
You need to write the words down.
That's amazing.
You know, and so those are the things we had to go through in our era, and we don't know that all of those things helped us grow. You know, because we remember phone numbers, we remember this, we remember that. And I tell my people, you don't use it, you lose it. We don't even understand the things, because everything is so automatic now.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's a bigger thing, it's a bigger stuff that's going on in the atmosphere than what we even could understand, Brother Hub.
And Burnett Jones, I coached with him for many years. He's a 30-year friend of mine. But he has a saying, before I take some off, I add more to it. And when I tell you this spring and summer, we're going to try to save as many kids as we can. We got a lot of stuff planned for this summer, because we trying to be proactive instead of reactive. And we know we still going to lose some kids. But what I didn't like about the WCIA piece is, in one room, we were in prevention mode. But in the other room, we had 3 artists, a manager, and an engineer, all between that target age that I want, 18 to 35. Actually, the youngest one in there was about 22. They were all between 22 and 30.
Okay.
You know, so I would have, you know, I told him, but he probably was retired. But I was more proud of having those adults that's out here, that age group is out here. I was more proud of getting them engaged than I was of the students. You know, because I'm in prevention mode with that financial literacy, but that studio, that's fix it now. So 80% of the times I done had that studio open, somebody in there smelled like weed, right? And so I gotta know that. Oh, I can't be around that. You know, I was sharing with some older people about my studio. Oh man, they got done. Man, you got to know that going in. You got to know that they might have a gun or they gonna be smelling like weed. That goes with the territory. If you can't deal with that, you in the wrong job. They know I'm a pastor. The respect is there, but I gotta respect them. Long as they smoking, ain't doing no smoking and none of that on my watch in my building, I'm not gonna control them. I need to get them in first. My grandmama, you know, in Grove Street, they used to say you can't clean a fish in the water.
Right.
And so you have to have something to invite the grown kids in.
Right.
You got to have something that attract them.
Right.
And that the weed and all that come with the rap game.
Right.
You got to know that in the dope.
Yeah. And I mean, and I mean, a lot of times, you know, I mean, that's just the climate you guys that allowed the society to create.
Yes, sir.
You know, they didn't impose all this stuff
Yeah.
on our kids. You let the elephant out the room.
Right.
So you left
Right.
an unmanned
Yeah,
ship
yeah.
years ago,
Um,
unaddressed.
America's selling the weed to them.
Unaddressed. So you keep on letting this slide. You let that slide. You let this slide. I'm too busy to attend this meeting. I'm too busy to attend that meeting. That don't affect me. That ain't for my race. All of those different things. And now the rooster coming home to crow.
Come on, man. Come on.
So now you saying, man, why they letting this here happen? No, you let it happen because you responsible for what happened or failed to happen on your watch.
Yes, sir.
So you had the opportunity to go vote.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to go say something.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to write a letter.
Yes,
You
sir.
had the opportunity to go to the school.
Yes, sir.
And you missed all opportunities.
Oh.
You had an opportunity to come to the class.
Mhm.
You had an opportunity to go to DC. You had an opportunity to talk to your senator.
Mhm.
You had an opportunity to be a senator.
Mhm.
You had an opportunity to clean yourself up to be the president.
Mhm.
You have all the opportunities out here. He left us a comforter. He went off and did what he did, but he left us a blueprint. Now we mismanaged our time. Now, which is causing you not to leave an inheritance, but you left your kids and your kids and your kids' kids.
But
The opposite.
what parent in their right mind say, I didn't get it, I didn't take advantage, so I ain't letting my kids take advantage of it? How selfish is that?
You know, and I know me and you done went back and forth about the parental responsibility. We done went back and forth about the parental responsibility.
We're never going to agree on that. Ever.
Okay, but
We're
you
never going to agree.
but you know what? You know, but you didn't already agree. Subconsciously.
Yeah.
Because you just said what parents say this.
Yeah.
What parents say this.
Yeah. No, I agree with a lot of the parents. I agree with it's the parents' responsibility. I agree with that part. The part I don't agree with is throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Okay.
So
Explain for the viewers that don't know that.
So
throwing the baby out
so
with the bathwater.
For the last 15 years, or 20 years since I got out of the military,
Got 23 minutes.
I've been hearing, no, this is gonna be quick. I've been hearing it's the parents' fault. But that's redundant. We already know that. Now what? That can't be the end.
So let me explain to you. Okay. I can't run your household. You have to do that. You have to run your household.
Okay.
And if you are allowing we just seen T.O.
Yeah.
We just seen a post, which you acknowledged. The post you said, or you might have been just discernment, but you said it earlier. I pull up to this shop, or I pull up, I'm smoking weed with my kid, or I'm running a dysfunctional household with my kid. You know, this and this and this and this and that. No mentor can fix that.
Oh, that's what T.O. said that.
Yeah, no mentor can fix that.
Okay.
Because once they get around us, then we need a cultivating space for this to be marinated in.
Right.
That's why it's great for the parent to come and the kid to be in the same environment.
Right.
That's why. Let me give you a prime example. Let me give you a prime example.
I don't agree with that, but
Let me give you a prime example. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Bring it home where you at. Bring it home where you at. Okay, I was married at one time. Married one time, right? I used to go to church. Okay. Okay, so I didn't listen to some good preaching. I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling like, yeah, man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take care of that. I'm gonna take care of that. I walk in the crib. I know good and well Snoop Dogg got to be here. I know good and well Snoop got to be in here, blowing back. You see what I'm saying? I'm listening to the music. It ain't Jesus lifting me. Ain't playing on the box. It's something else. Like we finna go to the club on a Sunday. So now I'm coming into an atmosphere that don't enhance the environment I just left.
Right.
So now I got to spend my time detoxing the household. Look, it's this, it's that. We can be woo, 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 woo. Come on now, come on, let's lift up.
Mhm.
So now I gotta run back because my battery pack drained. Now.
Right. You got to run
I almost
back
got
to the station at the hospital.
I gotta almost get
Yeah.
into the Monday night service.
Yeah.
Now I need the Tuesday night service. I need the Wednesday night service. I can't never go out there and do what his mandate is.
Now
Let's
what,
go out.
now, what is that called? What you just described in your household, what is that called?
You give it to me.
Unevenly yoked.
Yeah.
That's what that's
Right,
called.
right.
So, as adults, you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
But as a child, I remember I was at Central High School. I had one kid had to go to bed at 5. Another kid had to go to bed at 8. Another kid watched TV all night.
But they the key.
Listen to me. I had another one. He didn't have to go to bed. So I had, out of 15 kids, I had 15 different rules, right? So I said, let me tell you something. You can have tattoos. You can't have tattoos. Your people let you drink. You better not even say liquor, right? So I got all these different households that I'm dealing with. So effective when you come in this house, right? When you come in Central's gym, this is the standard, period, across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've done all my life in the situation, that's why we never agree, because this is, man, I do this in my sleep. What I do is I create another option for the child that's seeing the option at home. I influence them because I'm the salt of the earth. So I create another option or another choice. That's why I love the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Because dude said, I don't want to be like my daddy. I want to be like my neighbor's, my friend's daddy, right? I see what he on. I see what I'm living with. I'm going that way. And so we are the salt of the earth. I believe that. Some people just preach it, but like for real, wherever I go, I'm an influence, period. I'm influencing. Any situation I get in, I'm going to influence. I'm finna influence the school board and run too next year. Couldn't run this year, but I'll be there next year. You better believe that. But everywhere I go, I'm bringing my influence with me. I ain't asking somebody, hey, you got any salt? You got any salt? Hey, you got any salt? I'm bringing my influence. So when I say don't throw the baby without a bathwater, that's don't throw the child away because the parent is pop. Give them an opportunity. My mama, they say you can't, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. My mama said you could put oats in his mouth and create a thirst. I ain't gonna say a gazillion, but I can name so many kids that was pop. I had a kid in Garden Hills that hated it. He hated it. He played for me. He was in Garden Hills. He hated it, but he wasn't gonna leave because he was programmed. I kept on him. And one time he came in, he said, man, you think I should leave? I said, I already told you to leave. And he finally told me what his DBM, dominant in recruiting, DBM, dominant buying motive. He finally told me what his objective was. His objective was he didn't want to leave his girl. So I immediately told him, you can take your girl with you. In less than 6 months, he was out of here and he ain't looked back. Doing amazing. Not only is he still working for the company, he transferred out there, but he got 2 side hustles, right? But he was trapped in that environment, but every time he wanted to see a different picture, he come see me.
So her being I know we man, funny how time flies when you have a
Beautiful.
you know, we got about
This is a good subject. We got to revisit because this ain't no one trick pony.
So let me break it. Let me give it to you. Let the truth be told.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everybody don't got a hub in their household.
I agree. Well, no, a lot of people didn't have a hub in their household,
So everybody ain't got a hub in their household.
Okay.
A lot of people are thinking that they're on the right path and doing it wrong. The first thing,
that's the Bible.
The first thing,
that's the Bible.
The first thing that when you go into rehab is that you got to admit that you have a problem.
Yeah.
But if you never do a Michael Jackson man in the mirror check,
they don't even know they haters around here, dude. They
You don't even know you're doing wrong because you're doing what the crowd do.
Right.
I just talked to one of my kids yesterday about not doing what the crowd do.
Right.
If you want to be above the crowd, do what they ain't doing.
Yeah, go with the cloud, not the crowd.
You know what I'm saying? And so the second thing is ain't no kids running no house.
Mm-hmm.
Do what I say, but not what I do.
Mm-hmm.
How many of us grew up like that? How many of us grew up in a dysfunctional household because they didn't have another answer for us? Stop asking them stupid questions. That's the way our family and most families that I know across America was ran. And I talked to my buddies out there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and that's the way they was doing it even in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
What do you think the most important tool is for a kid that house is in disarray? What do you think the most important tool is?
The most important in the house?
No, if he's not getting
it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, mentorship.
School.
Mentorship. That's gonna be the mentorship.
So we got the reason
the mentorship.
I ain't gonna say I want. The reason I'm gonna have a school is because when you got the school, you can control the narrative.
So let me. Sometimes the preacher need a preacher.
Yeah.
So let me get a preacher a preacher. Let me be the preacher.
Okay.
So and tell me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
John the Baptist, they followed him.
Mm-hmm.
All of the disciples,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus they had their own disciples.
Mm-hmm.
They were all discipling other people, but then they said, "Hey, look, man, let's follow Jesus."
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
They were all working when Jesus called.
But they all had other followers of people that followed them
before Jesus called.
Jesus.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
You have to tell me what scripture, but they all was working. I give you that.
The mentorship.
Yeah, they were always working.
So I'm really just trying to pull out the piece of the mentorship because not all back then they had a traditional school. And each one of them, I think it was John the Baptist that had a school because I learned from my man that taught me. And so he had a school and then he partnered with Jesus. Okay. So he took his following, his teaching, his guys, he was his mentees. So each one of us got to be our own teachers, and that's what the parental thing is for. It's for you to be able to be the teacher to your kids. Now, one thing about it that we have going on across America on mentorship, because a lot of us think we got it, and we're not giving the people nothing because we got nothing in us to give them.
I'm writing a book right now. I've been writing it for 3 years, and I'm behind. Oh God, because of so. But when I tell you, if this book is taken seriously, it'll change youth all over the country. That's how potent this book is. And so you said, monkey see, monkey do, right? You said that's huge around here. So monkey see, monkey do could be a good thing. You see what I'm saying? It could be a good thing. And so when we're able to put this school together, I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is. I've talked to administrators, high administrators, who say, "Man, I would love to be a part of that," right? And they in the schools now, and so sometimes monkey see, monkey do can be a good thing, right? And so I'm getting excited because it works.
I mean, we call it influence.
Yeah.
It works. You call it influence.
Yeah, it works. And so a lot of people that's in the school, their hands are tied. I'll give you a perfect example. If our school had a track team, Ty Peacock would be all around it, even though he's in Arizona. If our school had a track, Ty Peacock would be, I would want him advising the track coach, connecting, because he's so connected all over the country. But yet when he was here, because of some of the things he did, they didn't want him around the program. And so that's just a small example.
So let's park in that garage, right? That's because we don't like people from our own environment. We don't like people that's from this town, that grew up in this town, because you should live in an environment that you grow in, that you make mistakes in, that people surround you, the village surround you and say, hey, look, man, it's going to be okay. You're going to get better. You go to prison, you do your time, you come back out, we get you a good job, we give you another avenue.
But this,
okay, we give you, so now in his gift,
right, he's nation,
in his gift worldwide,
right,
worldwide.
He worldwide.
Why? As a freshman in high school, I listened to him over the intercom talking about Tyke Peacock broke the world record. Came over the intercom, every student in Urbana stopped and paused because he had just broke the world record.
So why you wouldn't want that influence? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why we messed up.
So let me tell you.
That's why we
let me tell you another piece
that
we gotta understand before we get out of here, because I know we got 10 minutes left.
Oh, we got 10. We good then.
Let me tell you why.
You get 7, I get 3.
Let me tell you why. The lion don't teach the gazelle how to get away. The lion eat gazelles. So why would we put somebody here that's going to encourage, motivate, encompass visions and make people go to another level? Because we need those people to do the things that we ain't gonna do.
So I want you to complete my sentence, because you know me and you, we do this. So I'm gonna say something, you finish it. God bless a child.
They got his own. They got his own. And so that's where the entrepreneurship come in at. That's where the leadership come in at.
I'm literally getting excited.
And that's where the motivation come in at. And that's where my guys that's working at the factory. They looking at, retirement. See, like retirement age right now, they know good and well retirement, they trying to increase it here at 71. But over in France, they just had a ride at 61 or 63. They trying to increase it over there to 63, and they done tore the place up. We trying to increase it over here to 71, and ain't nothing got burned. You see what I'm saying? And they understand that you ain't gonna live no longer than what the current age, I think 65. You ain't gonna live to be 71. So you'll never enjoy the money anyway. So my guys that's working in the factory, we've downloaded that information, let them read it for themselves. The Bible said, read it for yourself. So we showing them on the internet. You can chat GPT anything now with AI. So read it for yourself. You see this language there. So now you start preparing for the future. Look, man, I'm out of here in about 10 years. I'm out of here in 5 years. So now you got a plan.
So this, I gotta tell this one quick. So I retired in 2006. In 2000, late 99, I opened up a clothing store because I was preparing for my retirement. And people say, I'll hug, talk a lot. I was quiet. My colonel called me. What's this I hear you have a store? I said, what are you talking about? Come on, Sergeant Burnett. They already told me you got a clothing store. I said, okay. What do you think you're doing with a clothing store? That's what he asked me.
Right.
We sitting just like this. I said, sir, in all due respect, what are you doing with Colonel rank? He was Lieutenant Colonel. What are you doing with Lieutenant Colonel rank? What do you mean? I said, you can have Lieutenant Colonel rank, but I can't own a clothing store. And so we discussed, you can't interfere with your job and all that. But in his mind, he couldn't fathom me wanting to do other things than the Army.
Right, disconnect.
I wasn't supposed to
already came with your disconnection.
Come on, man.
You already came with your out. You had already out process.
And so come on, man. That's why when we're talking to youth, I'm talking to people, I never knock them having a job.
Yeah.
Because what I encourage them to do, if some people don't want to do nothing but a job, they don't want to be an entrepreneur. They just want to work with a level of responsibility. And that's okay. Yeah. But for those who stay up at night thinking about their vision, thinking about what they want to do, thinking about the gift that God has gave them to use, don't leave your job. Use your job as a resource to build.
So I will tell you this. The views and opinions of Sean Williams. If you allow them to feed you, they also can starve you. Okay? Yeah. If you allow them to feed you, they can starve you. Okay? So what that means is that right now it's layoffs going on around the world because of the interest rates and stuff. So Amazon just laid off 11,000. Google just laid off a bunch of people. All of these different plants right here locally in the community is factories and just laid off people. Ain't no hiring.
But my
And so we
mind,
gotta,
my mind, I got too much on my mind, but I want to say this. I hope somebody in America is capturing the data on how many people started their business because of COVID. Because I would love to hear. I know it's some great story. I made more money in my shop than I ever have made COVID because I pivoted and started selling masks.
what COVID, and COVID gave you time to self-reflect.
And really honestly,
Pivot.
when you blow up in this trade and financial literacy, you gotta honor COVID.
Yeah.
Because that's what made you pivot.
It made me redirect, rethink. You know, the Bible called it renewing of the mind. That was the Bible called it. They call it renewing of the mind. It's what some scientists call the aha moment. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what but you know what? We have aha moments in class all the time.
All the time.
So when we're sitting back there, like-minded people trying to move forward through all this chaos, and it just ain't about stocks. It's about being able to see and mentally see.
But one of the reasons that I made it, my wife taught financial literacy last class. I really never taught. I let Elder Hunt, I really never taught. I just laid back and piggyback. But one of the things that God shared with me, he said, I want you to teach it. Now, I got two young coal guys. One of them managed 5 million account at the age of 22. But he said, you teach it from a total angle than anybody, not better, just different because of your experience. You've been in business since you were 7 years old. You know, you had a paper route. You lied about your age of 14 and worked at Jumers. So you got so many avenues, so many spaces, so many layers that you can come from. The kids need that more than now. Most important, you speak their language.
Oh yeah, that's one of the main ingredients. Right
So
there.
I'm like, man.
I mean, when you're dealing with young people, especially that they call it in the schools, they call it high flyers, right?
Yeah, high flyers.
So those are the people that's below reading, below math, below this. They call them high flyers.
Can I be honest with you real quick? Give me 30 seconds. I was at JWA High School, junior high, and we had 20 high flyers, 5 female, 15 males, 14 black, 1 brown. That's how I started LDA. That's how I started Leadership Development Academy. The principal at that time, Ryan Green, said, "You gonna do what?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna take all these high flyers, right? Out of those 15 high flyers, 5 of them in college right now." But that's why I'm saying, man.
This is the problem. This is the problem. This is where the frustration sets in with folks in that environment. They weren't never a high flyer themselves.
Oh man, come on, man.
Label
leaders.
Hey, how can a non-high flyer communicate with a high flyer?
Yeah.
Because you wasn't never one of them type of people.
Yeah.
So now you have a passion for folks that's been labeled a high flyer.
I used to get mad at Sean. I used to get mad at some teachers until God let me know. There's some teachers that flat out don't care. It is.
Right.
They just checking the block, getting that.
It's my job.
But then it's some teachers that do care, they just can't relate.
Right.
And those are the ones I used to be angry at because I had them in the other category. They care, they just can't relate.
And as we get ready to get out of here, we got 1 minute left. Big shouts out to my nephew Jamar for winning spot on school board, Champagne School Board. Big shouts out to you, young man. I like my leaders to be able to have a post to them, or be able to get on the phone and be able to call and talk to them about the problems.
Will Cobb was a big one. We dropped the ball on that. We'll talk about that next show.
We'll hit that next show.
I'll ask your opinion about that.
Hey man, I sure appreciate you guys tuning in to us. Brother Hub, thank you very much once again, man. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. Peace. I'm out. And let's get going here. Yeah.